The grace of heaven, the Grand Masters, predecessors, transmitters, speakers, lecturers, and all my brothers and sisters for this opportunity to attempt to speak to you today on the purpose of Dao. So the purpose of Dao. So Dao, as we know, cannot be created or destroyed. So after the world was merged along with the mutation of the universe, we see harmonious action as exhibited in the seasonal changes of rhythm and time and tide. Tao is in the harmony of nature, mystical and magical aspect. See, as we see everything in the world, there must be some sort of balance for everything. So, and these things, these occurrences do not happen just like that. There is this mystical.
Well, that's probably going to cause some noise now.
Really? You can keep talking.
Yeah, okay. So there is always external force. Well, external not meaning other entities, but they are things of nature that actually cause these things to happen, and these things happen because of our thoughts, our deeds, and our actions. So where is this Tao that we are speaking about? Everyone has different ways of explaining it, and sometimes we see in different lectures, presentation, everyone gives different interpretation, but it all says the same thing, even though that the interpretation is different, but it's all the same. Because the Tao is always the way, and this way is it cannot be seen or touched, it cannot be described. Tao is omnipotent. Tao is supernatural, of a supernatural origin, and it is here, there, and everywhere, across the galaxies, throughout the earth, and sentient beings. This supernatural source is naturally called Tao. So sometimes we describe it as, well, not sometimes, but it is the Wu Wei theory states that being act naturally in accordance with Tao. They do not do anything, they just behave as they do naturally. So Tao is the truth, Tao is absolute, and Tao is origin. Lao Tzu says, the truth is not always beautiful, nor beautiful words. It's just the truth. You know, this morning, Transmitter Lin was explaining in his lecture about how when someone criticizes you, that is okay, but because sometimes, okay, so when we do something, sometimes it's the words, the truth seems to come around, or in a way that it's hard to take in or fathom. But if we need to hear a criticized comment, then it's okay. We just have to learn how to take it with a good heart, and then try to correct whatever we did before. And this way, it's the way that we learn. It's just the Tao. It's the truth. And if those who know better don't try to pass it on, then that's not the Tao. So, kindness in words creates confidence. Kindness is thinking. Kindness in thinking creates profoundness. Kindness is given, creates love. A Tao that cannot be told is not the permanent Tao. The name that can be named is not the permanent name. The nameless is origin of the heaven and earth. The name of the mother of the 10,000 creatures, hence in the permanent state of undesired, we see it mysteriously in the permanent state of desire and see its boundaries. So, I'm sure everyone can see all those little numbers up there, and if we could all read those together, then it's 21 of them. So can everyone start with from the first going down? You can't see it, right?
I'll read it out.
Okay.
To everybody who can see.
Yeah.
To venerate heaven and earth, to reverse holy beings, to be patriotic, loyal, and responsible, to be of virtuous character, and to honor the practice of piety, to fulfill the duty of filial piety, to respect teachers, to practice trustworthiness among friends, to live harmoniously with neighbors, to correct wrongdoings and pursue goodness, to expound the 5 human relationships and the 8 cardinal virtues, to propagate the essence of the teachings of the saints from the 5 religions, to follow respectfully the traditional propriety of the 4 ethical principles, the mainstays, and the constant virtues, to cleanse the mind and purify the thoughts, to cultivate the truth with the aid of untruths, to restore the original true nature, to develop the perfection of the inherent conscience, to establish oneself and help others to be established, to enlighten oneself and help others to be enlightened, to help the world to have peace and order, to transform people's hearts to goodness, to bring great harmony to the world.
Right. So, the first is to venerate heaven and earth. Like our parents, heaven and earth have provided us with a wonderful shelter and all the necessities without any complaints or grumbling. Now, just from Dharma class, the topic of filial piety was such a permanent and is always a permanent part of the Dharma class, and everyone in the Dharma class was sobbing their eyes and so forth, because there's always a sentence, a verse or something that is related or touches everyone's heart. So everyone is always shedding some little tears. If you're not crying, then something is really wrong with the heart. So, and no feelings. So,
no
right?
Emotions.
Right.
No
So,
emotion, that's the best one. No emotion.
no
The
emotion.
Buddhists have no emotions.
Yeah.
Right?
So,
No good, no
Okay.
right, no better.
right. So, because it's so important that if we understand that we came from heaven and to earth to do something, whatever, most of us, we don't know what our duties or what our vows are to return to this earthly world. But whatever it is, we are here in the temple trying to cultivate. I'm sure we are all trying to fulfill this vow. So, anyhow, so
Good thought, since we talk about emotion. Lecture Leo, Buddha Nature class, he said one statement, one very important. With emotion, we cannot become Buddha. With emotion, we cannot become Buddha. So this is very important now.
Better stop crying.
well, no, that's different. Yeah.
That's a little different. Don't mix them up.
You mean I can still cry?
Yeah, that is
Emotion is
Anger,
This is
getting rage or getting this kind of something here. I saw something I don't like it. I'm upset, anger. all there's emotion, so it overdo. So those kind of emotion we cannot have in order to manage our emotion. So that's what Buddha don't do that. Buddha react properly, not overreact. Human being sometimes we get upset, we angry, certain things, we get emotion. That's a different emotion we are talking about. Thank you.
All right. So for the sake of kindness and blessing that we receive from heaven and earth, we owe them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah. Thank you. Yeah. So, for the sake of heaven and kindness that we receive from heaven and earth, we owe them our respect and must never take them for granted. Heaven and earth, when broadly interpreted, are our living environment. So, we came from heaven and to earth. So, we should not actually just sort of dwell so much on this earthly realm, because we have to go back to heaven one day. That's everyone's goal. So we should always remember that that's the place, our original home, where we came from. So we should look at this earth as part of our cultivation to go back to heaven, and not put too much emphasis on the things that happen on earth. So we need to be nice to our living environments so that they can continue to nourish and protect us. So, to revere holy beings. Now, before I go, I guess everyone understands what this is, right? Because every time we come to the temple, we kowtow and pay respects to heaven, to the Buddhas and so forth. But something that I have to say here is that when we are being revered to the Buddhas and saints, we are not actually looking at the statues on the temple on the altar as a being, so to speak, or putting so much emphasis on the statues. It's just a reminder. At least I think that it's just a reminder, and not that we are just bowing to the statues on the altar. I believe that we are doing this to ourselves and not to the statues, but using the statues as a reminder to know that we have these great masters who are actually helping us to actually do what we need to do to go back to our original home. So these holy beings, we have Lao Tzu, Confucius, Buddha, Jesus, Muhammad, holy teacher, etc. are just a few examples of holy beings. Holy beings having a common vision to save the world by helping people realize truth, or the Tao. Their common vision is not to establish any religion. They devoted themselves and sacrificed themselves for propagating the Tao without any consideration for themselves. Without their devotion, compassion, and sacrifice, Tao could not have been spread globally. So, if we understand that they are our teachers, they are our guide. So, if we try to follow their guidance, then it's natural that we will be able to achieve or fulfill our vows on earth, and then when the time comes, we'll be able to return, because they are sacrificing so much for our help and our benefit. So we should actually try to learn and follow their guidance. But if we are not respecting them, then we will not be doing what we are expected to do. So the best way to revere a holy being is not to worship them, but to sincerely cultivate Tao and continue their own or one vision to save the world by helping people realize the truth, or to realize Tao. And number 3, to be patriotic, loyal, and responsible. To be patriotic, loyal, and responsible is to be patriotic patriotic to the country of Dao. Not to, again, let me say that again. To be patriotic, loyal, and responsible is to be patriotic to the country of Dao, the country of wisdom, humanity, righteousness, freedom, and equality. The sense of responsibility is important to both personal and Dao affairs. The Dao cultivator must be a responsible person who will make sure that the job is properly taken care of from beginning to end. So if we're doing something for or in the temple, we should not be doing it and saying, oh, why am I always doing this, or why am I doing this and all these other people are not doing anything, or just leave what we're doing and not complete it. It's important that we do what we're doing always from the heart and finish the job. Never leave it undone. It should be done properly because it's part of our duty, because we are being patriotic to the Tao, not to ourselves but to the Tao. So it's our duty to do whatever we are doing and do it with a willing heart. Do we agree?
Agree.
Yeah.
Okay. So 4 is to be virtuous, to be of virtuous character, and to honor and practice of propriety. Elder Han or Bai Shalaren learned from the water and his virtues, and certainly comparable as water. Developing one's virtuous character means to improve the quality and value that one possesses. In the environment of Dao cultivation, we study, learn, and practice moral ethics and propriety, all by illustration of holy beings. The only way to become a virtuous being like them is to have a morally sound character by practicing moral principles and rights in daily life. The practice of propriety should be from a sincere heart. Number 5, to fulfill the duty of filial piety. Our parents are the 2 living Buddhas in our everyday lives, whose love is unconditional. So we can't say, oh, you have to do this, you're my mother. So, because they never ask you, when you're crying, they get up from their slumber and take care of us while we were babies, and even while we are older, we still seems to not appreciate sometimes. But our parents are definitely our Buddhas. Whether they are alive or they've passed away, we should never forget those 2 first Buddhas, which for us, which is our mothers and our fathers. So we should always, you could speak to them. They're not answering back, but it's important that we still say thank you, because without those 2 Buddhas, we would probably not have been here today. Filial piety is an inborn quality in every human being. Filial piety is the beginning of all good and the first of all virtues. To fulfill the duty of a filial piety, we are unfit to be human being if we relieve ourselves from the duty of taking care of our parents based on selfish excuses. So, Mom is not feeling well today and we have to go to the football game, and all your friends come home to meet you. Will you leave and go with your friends, or are you going to stay home to take care of Mom? See, these are little things that we need to look at, or we have to go to...
what happens when your mom is no longer there when you come back from the football game?
Yeah.
Your conscience will be, making you sick all for the rest of your life. Is it worth it?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, you never know what can happen to your mom. You don't know if she's going to have a heart attack or whatever. So when your mom is sick, you got to take her to the doctor. The football game, you can make up another time.
Okay. We should always show our parents with respect and affection. Sometimes we get home from work and we're filled with stress and so forth from the job, but when you get to the home, you should always have a different attitude and start off by hugging and kissing and whatnot and saying something good to our parents. And I'm sure that will always help you to relieve some of the stress that you came home with. So those of you who still have your parents at home, it's important that we do things like that. And if your parents is an ageable parents, then and you're married and you're not having your mother especially living with you, you need to bring your mother home to live with you or not. And I'm sure none of you have your parents in a nursing home. So if they're still around, you should have them living with you to take care of your mother, especially your mother. Father too, but especially our mothers.
Yeah, Johnny told me that when his mom passed away and my dad passed away, he goes, "Oh, moms are special."
Yeah.
And I didn't know what he meant until now because now I lost my mom.
Yeah.
Okay. Moms are special. They're the ones at home that nourished us, that taught us, that fed us, okay, that cleaned us. The father goes and earned them. I'm not saying the fathers are not good. The fathers are good too.
Yeah.
But it's the mother that are
The
extra
mothers are special.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's a little bit of difference, but we should have filial piety towards both.
When baby cry,
Yeah.
or kids cry, what do they call first?
Mom, right. And as like transmitter said that, I'm sure most of you who are parents know that you always say they trying to see what is the first words that comes out of the baby's mouth. They say, did it say mom or did it say dad? It's
Sometimes
always
they
a
do
problem.
say dad.
Yeah, sometimes, right? So, but still, the majority of the time, the baby always says mom. Because listen, moms always have that baby here. So that heartbeat.
Remember, we came from mom. Okay?
Yeah.
She's the one that carried
Yeah.
us for 9 months.
Yeah.
So that's why she's a little bit special. The dads are special too. So we have to filial to both.
Let's keep
Yes,
going.
Claudia.
Yeah, well, I always love fathers. I really respect men and fathers, and I think sometimes they get the short end. And I think we come from the father and through the mother. But I wanted to say about when the parents are gone already, and we have children. So when I first came here and I realized, well, my parents are both gone, and I wasn't in a position to actually, take their karma because I know there's some sort of something there. But I thought, well, what can I do? So I said, let me allow my children to practice filial piety with me. So I started to become more burdensome to them, like asking them, I need to go here, take me there. And so I thought that was a good thing to give them that opportunity to practice with me. I cannot practice
So are
with my parents.
are they practicing filial piety? I know Jonathan is.
Yeah, my son always.
Her son is like Riot.
Yeah.
Okay, she's very blessed with a son like that.
Wow, that's very good.
We love Buddha.
Yeah. But even our parents still are not around anymore, we still can do it.
Yeah.
Because when at first they come out, we do a little thing, and pray for them, or sometimes we say something to them. So they are still around. So even they are not here physically with us, they always can see us. Even Dharma class, they can see us all the time.
When you were here for the Dharma class, they were
Yeah,
here.
they are here, they can
But
see.
I'm always close with my parents
You can feel
anyway,
that.
even, but I'm just saying, I cannot physically go to the doctor with them or stay home with them when they're sick. So that connection is really strong, always was, even when they were alive, because we always talked about, when they're not. So it's like not really a big difference.
Kids learn from us,
Yeah.
right? Whatever we do, they learn from us.
Yeah.
Well, when you do more good deeds in the temple or outside, they will benefit. That's how you can help them. Even though you're not willing to carry on their karma yet, Maybe someday you will change your mind. But the more you do, the more they're going to
They
benefit.
benefit.
Well, now I think I'm more
Yeah.
ready, but I
All
wasn't when I
right.
first came, so
Okay.
I'd like to find out more. about
Once
that.
we do every day, once we receive Tao, they don't have to suffer anymore. That's a big difference. The day we receive Tao, the happy stay in their lives because they don't have to suffer in their health. Okay? Most of our ancestors, they are all in the world, unfortunately. Okay? But once we receive Tao, they don't have to suffer like old days. Okay? Once we start to make a vegetarian vow, they're going to benefit. They're going to jump to different positions. Once we become temple master, they jump to different positions. So they affect, with whatever we do, we're more merit, that's your Jin and the other people just talk. Once we gain to different position, they benefit. They go to different position too. They go with us. Look at our senior Jin transmitter. Jin transmitter about 29, 30, let's say 30 years ago, when he brought his father to come here to the reunion with us. His father was the gardener in the
What department?
house. Yeah, this is
Like a
The
peach
peach.
grove.
peach garden.
Peach
Peach
garden.
garden
Peach
Kai?
Yeah, he's in charge of all.
Hello,
Well, he's in
Kai.
charge of all garden.
Sorry.
Garden, peach garden.
Peach garden.
He was in charge of all this stuff.
Immortal.
There we go.
Peach
We
grove.
finally came up with the
Good.
term.
Then 2.5 years ago, we reunited with him. You know what's his position? 护法大仙.
What is the
Protect
translation?
law said.
The protector of Dharma.
He says now.
Yeah,
You
you
see
say
that?
the same.
He used to be a scholar for the protection of the beach in heaven, right? Beach garden. Now he's saint. He's saint. He's a saint.
You know why? Because he's got senior transmitted Jin. He's got all three
sweet son.
wonderful
Son.
grandsons.
Then he benefit from that, from all four. See that? So now it's going to become a saint. Okay? How often did it happen like this? Yeah.
And what
Okay.
if the incarnation, like when my daughter had the baby, I kept looking at the baby thinking it's my mother come back.
It could be. You don't know.
Never know.
Oh,
Never know.
oh boy.
Never know.
Yeah.
There was some reincarnation stories
Yeah.
where the father is changing the baby's diaper.
Diaper.
And the baby said, the baby, maybe, he was able to talk. He goes, "You now change my diaper. I used to change your diaper."
And the father says something to the baby, okay? And the kids, 5 years kids, said, "I used to tell you that."
Yeah.
You remember that? That was a real story.
Yeah.
This is a real story, real
Yeah, real happened. And
incarnation.
then this baby, the kids said, "Father, I used to tell you that." I used to tell he was grandpa.
Huh.
He was a grandpa. It's interesting. But
Yeah.
a lot of time we forgot where we were before. But we are all Buddha reborn, all of us. Every one of us.
So if they come back, if they reincarnate, then they don't stay in the lower. They don't
Depends.
stay in
Depends.
the.
I think sometimes they're willing to come back for different positions.
Well, if their soul is reincarnated, they already left the underworld.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
not that
they're
their soul
they're
is
not
split up. No,
No, they can't
only
be.
Buddhas can do that.
Yeah, they're not here anymore. They came back to look the uncle of the I think this
Thai's uncle?
end of the lecture Thai is the transmitter.
Oh, yes, yes.
Senior transmitter's
Yes.
older sister. First time I think we united with her, right? You know what her position? She was still in the heaven. Okay? Second time we united with her 2.5 years ago. Do you know what happened? She was not in heaven anymore. Should we
Incarnate.
in China? She told us we were born in China. But first time I saw the scripture, right? They upload, Shin transmitter upload her to the heaven, right? Okay, and she was there for years. Then last time when we reunited with her, she said she already
Born.
reborn in China.
Actually, when she said that, she came down.
No, she didn't say.
No,
She
it
didn't come
was
down. Yeah.
Spice it
our
from-
grand predecessor announced it.
But that was told story. She went to
Take birth in China.
Yeah. Yeah, see, wow. But
How old would she be now?
now she's 60 years older than our senior transmitter.
When she took rebirth. Then.
About 2.5 years ago.
Oh, okay.
So about 50 years
Hi,
ago.
good morning.
Morning. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Yes, see? But one thing different. when since the Buddha, they become Saint Buddha, they want to reborn, right? They can choose where to go. They can choose a family.
okay.
They want to reborn.
Oh.
But when we human beings, we have a karma, right? So human beings, we have a karma, right? We couldn't choose where we want to go.
But we come back to the same family kind of.
No, never.
No.
Not
And we,
necessarily.
when come back to
No.
same family, you are lucky. We are lucky. We could become animal, could be something
Oh,
else.
yes, that. Well,
We
that's
never.
right.
But because of karma, you know what? But we could be, because our relatives, our loved one, our ancestor, our children, they could be previous lives, our relative, friends, or loved ones. You never know. Okay? So I remember the load transmitter and the senior gene transmitter. You know how what teacher called senior transmitter? Low senior transmitter, right? She was his daughter in previous life. Many years ago.
In the previous lifetime,
Yeah.
they were father and daughter.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why they talk so much. You know?
Yeah.
Old senior transmitter. Jiu, holy teachers.
How does somebody know when they're related before? They had some relations
The
before.
Buddha's announced
Only
it.
the Buddha.
They all-
We may not know that.
Buddha all know that.
Okay, then he wouldn't understand. Usually in May Dharma class, we have Buddha channeling in.
Oh,
So in the May Dharma class, again we will have Buddha channeling in. And Jigong Buddha, our holy teacher, always channel in on Sunday. So through conversation, he may say a sentence, "You used to be his daughter," you know, something like that. Yeah.
We had also one time we had one English Dharma class member. He attended Dharma class, and our Jiahua sent, right? She said something because he's a vegetarian. Like we haven't seen it, Rahul, right?
Rahul, I call, he
We
doesn't
couldn't
pick
see
up
him- We
anymore.
didn't see him now. Like, the two kids. He's a vegetarian for 38 years. You know, the Jiahua Bodhisattva said something. He said, "You tell him you used to cultivate under Jigong Buddha's temple in previous lives." He told the person. But all of us, we cultivate.
Rahul,
We were Buddha
yeah.
before.
I
We are all Buddha in different positions before. We forgot.
Okay.
We don't need.
I'm
we don't
only
need
up to
Jigong
5
Buddha
and look
tell
at
us
the time,
where
so
we
maybe I
go.
should
We don't
skip a
need-
lot
we knew
of that
we-
stuff so that I,
But we just
Bring up
need
the-
to continue to cultivate to go back. That's how. But if we say, okay, we will reborn in this lifetime, we can make a vow, but we don't do it, what happens? We cannot go back to the original position. We cannot. Then we probably have to come back to reincarnate. But be lower position, once we go back, we might be lower position. Then we sit there for a long time, we come back to reincarnate. We say, oh, I don't want to do this. We come down again. So we need to go back to the original position. If we don't go back there, we see the low position, we say, that don't belong to me. Then we will come down again. So that's why I say, it's like that, we need to go back to original position. That's why Jinhua sent, that's Jin's mother. That's why Buddha's Holy Teacher said, she went back to original position she had in heaven. So we want to go back to original position. If we don't go back there, we might want to come back and say, I want to come back to reincarnation. We don't want that.
Everything depends on our own cultivation and on what we do in the
Virtues.
Tao. Okay, how we manifest virtues. That's what is based on whether we go
Okay.
back to the
Let me
original.
say one thing. In Chinese class, in the morning, I say one thing. In the future, our position, our achievement is not based on how many people we propagate, we need to receive down. It's not based on how big the temple we were there. It's not big on how many people we have in the temple. Based on 5 items. Virtues, first one. Okay, 5 items, most important inside our future in the heaven. Virtues, our vow and the action. When we make a vow, what is our action? Okay, and what's our 戒律?
What's Jie Kai, what's Jie
The temple regulation.
Discipline.
Discipline.
Like the temple regulation, something like that. 戒律. That's all those post 5 preset, right? Yeah, so all those rules.
So
we
what's the
define.
5th one?
Yeah, okay.
Virtue, vows,
Virtue, vow and action.
actions.
Vow and action is one.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Discipline and what?
okay. 火候
What's 火候?
means whatever kind of, whatever, when we face some stuff, danger, difficulty,
Oh.
or we have the control manage ourselves.
Oh.
That means
Overcome
we don't
So
difficulties.
endurance.
Endurance,
Yeah.
endurance, endurance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
endurance. Okay. Okay.
Okay. And then the fifth one.
还有哪一个？功德、守候、戒律、心念
Xingnian.
Yeah.
Proper,
Our mindset.
proper,
Mindset.
Proper
yeah,
mindfulness.
proper,
It
proper
follows very similar to the sixth parameter. Very similar. The only thing that's missing is charity. Think about it. It's very similar. Very, very similar. That's why they say the sixth parameter. Yeah, 像六度多罗蜜, it's just that it's not the first one. First one we know is charity. It's really, charity means compassion. It's really compassion. Charity is very narrow, right? Compassion is broader. Charity doesn't mean you just give money or donate, right? You help anybody out. That's considered charity. That's compassion. It's really compassion. Charity is an act of
These are called the
compassion.
5
Call that.
precepts?
Or it's a subset.
No.
These are the 5
Right?
things
It's really the
that will
sixth
determine whether we
parameter.
can go back.
And that's
Not
why all
how many people
bodhisattvas,
to receive that.
if they want
Not
to
how
become
big a temple.
bodhisattvas, they have
These
to
are the 5.
they have
It's
to
more our
perform,
inner
or
cultivation.
yeah, you can say perfect. Maybe
Familiar with the 5 precepts?
It's
different?
If they perfect it,
not
you are bodhisattva. Period.
Okay.
No question about it. Okay. That's the sixth parameter. Right? Okay. Well, there's wisdom.
Okay, so you got it? All 5 then?
Yeah.
Yeah, 5. Okay, Jean, can you review 5?
Virtues, vows and actions, discipline, temper regulations, that's 1. Endurance and proper mindset.
Yeah, temple regulation is too narrow. It's too narrow. It's really discipline. And it's
Discipline.
really- it encompasses part of the Eight Noble Paths, which it encompasses the last 3. Yeah, last 3.
Okay,
Let's just say last 3.
JD means that because there are a lot of temple regulation, right? How we make sure we follow all
We
those.
follow all the-
We don't
that's why-
violate all those.
Yeah, that's
Even
why
when you're on your
rules and
item.
regulations are so critical.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't violate.
Don't overlook that. It is very important.
Well, really, it also encompasses what Confucius also say about our, the 8 virtues, the how we conduct ourselves, right? Especially by ourselves when we're alone, when nobody's watching, or we think nobody's watching. So it's all that. It's all that. It's this discipline, mental discipline. All right. So we have to
Don't violate the law, violate the rules. Yeah.
in the like we say 3 poisons, right?
Oh, you don't want to pass
He's
it?
a
Okay.
commuter.
3
He's
poisons,
a
right? How do you count the 3 poisons? 戒定慧, right? 戒定慧, right? The 3, it's called the 3 non-conditioned, and 3 studies of non-conditioned virtues. It's a technical term, but that's the, 戒定慧, right? You guys remember 戒定慧, right? Remember that?
戒律.
戒定慧,
So I think these 5 items we need to remind ourselves all the time.
戒就是
So
Yeah.
actually, when you look at it, it's more important for ourselves to cultivate well, rather than outer merits. It's more our inner cultivation that is the most critical.
That's one thing I said this morning. Look at the other unit on the Chongde temple. They got more than 1,000 the transmitter. They got meaning temple member. And our temple is not as big theirs. But when you come down to position that our joyful sense of the joyful Dao, right?
It's hard.
Right? Our leader, senior leader who passed away. But look at his position today. So it's depend on individual, not depend on the temple size and the member of the size. So that's different.
Yeah.
Right? Now you can see how it makes sense, right?
So we must cultivate well to go back.
Yeah.
Because
All right.
like when she passed that to us, that inheritance is when we pass to maybe the relatives to others.
So it's good knowing that. Yeah. Good morning. Yeah. Good morning. Okay, thank you. Continue.
Okay. 6 to respect teachers. So I have to speed up and leave out a lot of things because time is running. So to respect. The very first teachers in our lives were our parents. On the path of our lives, we have many teachers who impart knowledge to us, impart wisdom to us, impart the Tao to us. They put the Tao to us last, even though that is probably the most, because naturally it's difficult to impart the Tao to a little baby, so that's why that is last. Okay?
How did you find my picture?
I know it's on the
we have
internet.
I think a lot of people attend Dharma class, right? There are a lot of good true story on the telepathy, right? I think some of them may not know that. I think we should see, we might share us. Send
Okay,
email to
this
us,
is-
send email to us later on, and
Yeah.
also quickly
Yeah.
talk about this one.
Yeah,
Some of
okay,
them,
yeah.
Okay, this is a 60, I think he's about 60 years old, and his mom had a stroke, and she was in a wheelchair, but she accidentally hit her legs, and her legs were broken. So she can no longer sit in a wheelchair because she's in pain. So her son retired early just to take care of her. So he went to the store, he purchased a blanket, and he carried her mother like we would carry our children. Okay, so he took her to the hospital for a doctor appointment, and people saw it. And there was a young student there also went for a doctor appointment. She took the video of this man carrying the mother, put it on the internet, and within a few hours it went viral. Okay, thousands and thousands of people were moved by this video because it reminded them of when they were a baby, how our mother carried us. So it had everybody reflecting on themselves. I have to go home and be kind and good to my parents, just the same way that this man is to his mother. Okay.
And he took early retirement.
Yeah.
And he quit his job to do that.
Of course, she had another heart attack and passed away. So, but just to show you, okay. So he says he has to take care of his mom until the very end.
Oops. Okay. To practice trustworthiness among friends. Now, I guess everyone has a different version of everything, of trustworthiness at work, at school, or wherever. So, but you see, most of the time, it's very easy to determine who can you trust, because a virtuous person is very easy to trust because they somehow resonate that sort of trustworthiness, so it's easy to think. The reason why I chose that picture with the doctor, because today it's very difficult to trust all the doctors, so that I thought that was important. So and they themselves tells us that they're not trustworthy. That's why they have to always send you to get a second opinion. So of course, you know, one of our teachers who is very important to us is Jigong Buddha, who is the statue on the right of the altar. So, and Bodhisattva Yahweh, who is the Bodhisattva, who is the statue on the left. So, so to practice trustworthiness among friends, trust is the belief among people that sometimes said would be witnessed by its action. So if a person is doing good things, their action in their daily lives is easier to determine if that person is trustworthy, because no one can be such a fake, so to speak, that they're doing all these good things every day and still they're not trustworthy. Right. So it is natural for a trustworthy person to be liked and respected by others.
We also have to be trustworthy to other people.
Yeah.
Our words, our actions must be one.
Yeah.
I brought up an example in class. 31 people signed up to attend the Dharma class. How many people show up?
Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Okay? So some people's words were not trustworthy.
We got some here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Give yourself.
Yes. So you guys were very trustworthy.
So it says that a person's word is a bond. So if you say yes, I will, that means. So have you ever really checked the word I or the phrase say I will to say you are saying I will be there, I will do this, and then that's like you're doing something very untrustworthy there because you said I will and then you did not do it. So if you say yes, I will, then we need to follow through because it's like a bond. So it's like you're breaking a very important promise. So that's how we become trustworthy by sometimes you show up, if you had to show up at 9 but you show up at 10, you're late but still you still showed up. Alright.
One sentence our Holy Qigong teacher said. The Holy Qigong teacher said, Buddha said, he can point us the direction and how to become a Zen and Buddha.
Yeah.
But if we don't want to become Zen and Buddha, the Buddha cannot do anything about it. They only can point the direction and how to do it.
Yeah.
But if we don't want to go back to heaven to become a Buddha, he cannot do anything about it. That's right, the way it goes, right?
Yeah. So to be trustworthy with your neighbors and friends, sometimes a lot of us are living in some communities and some, like in New York, we have a lot of attached houses, and yet that you're going in and sometimes you don't even know the person on your left or on your right, depends on the house. And that's not good because if something happens in your apartment or the other person's apartment, and let's say, for instance, a fire, and you're not speaking to that person could just get out and didn't even come and knock or ring your bell and say, neighbor, get out because there's a fire. So it's very important.
No, and if the houses are attached, they have to because the fire will go to their house.
Yeah,
too.
but you see, then this is a part, what I'm saying here, trustworthiness against neighbors and friends is very important too, because if you're not living good with your neighbor, how are you going to live good with somebody else? Because you're going up the stairs and you slip and fall and there's no one else coming and only your neighbor, and if you're not speaking to your neighbor, suppose that person is saying, oh, I see this person every day and they can't even say good morning. That person could just leave you there and don't even call the ambulance to pick you up. So we as Dao cultivators, we should be able to live harmoniously with everyone, right? And so if you're not doing that right now, when we leave here today, you should get to know a neighbor. And those of us who are working, and so I don't know who did the lesson once that asked about the name of the janitor in your building or the janitor at your work. And all these are people that we need to know them by name, because they're cleaning for you your benefit every day, and you pass by and you don't even say good morning or good evening to them, and we need to change those things. Yes.
My neighbors on one side is a police precinct,
Right.
and they're 24 hours around, and every time I come, I always want to say hi and smile, but when I do, they so I'm like almost scared. So I'm like, I better just like mind my own business.
You keep your smile all the time. Because when we smile to people, we have a merit of smiling to people. You know that? When you smile, big smile, you already earn a merit.
Yeah.
Merit is not earned we donate money or we do something. No. We have big smile, big heart, really smile to people. We already earned the merit there. We didn't know that. We earned the merit there. So just by smiling, we already earned all the merits there.
They get suspicious and they want to like, I'm like,
That's interesting.
Okay. So now we have to learn how to correct wrongdoings and pursue goodness. And you notice you say we hear nothing, we see nothing, and we do nothing. But then Confucius put it a different way. He says, I hear and I forget, I see and I remember, I do and I understand. See, why should, if we here, remember we just spoke about being a good neighbor. So if we are going to hear and see and we do nothing, then that's not living harmoniously. Because it's important for us to do something, do good, because we are speaking about building up virtues. And if we're not doing not necessarily always mean that we are helping this person, but we are doing so much good that we are helping many people. So doing is very important.
One thing we have to keep in mind, wherever we see, even animal or human beings, they are the Buddhas.
Yeah.
So we see them like Buddha. Then what do they mean? We are the Buddha too. Okay, we are the Buddha to see other Buddhas. So when you see anybody, even we upset certain things, we are the Buddha. So there is no Buddha upset, no Buddha with anger, no Buddha with happiness. So we are the Buddha too. So when you see all the Buddhas, what does that mean? We are the Buddhas. Remember that. We are the Buddha too.
Okay. So to expound the 5 human relationships and the 8 cardinal virtues. 5 human relations, as the world is getting more and more materialistic, people are gradually losing his or her original nature. Because people, no one seems to care about anything else but themselves today. And this is what causing so much calamity, part of what causing a lot of calamities in the world today. So, yeah.
Just finish your
Okay.
sentence.
All right. Okay. So we say between the superiors and subordinates, parents and children, husband and wives, between brothers and sisters, between friends, filial piety, fraternity, loyalty, trustworthiness, propriety, righteousness, integrity, and shamefulness. We just had a little discussion. We spoke about all these things. So these are the things that we need to follow as Dao cultivators to actually help us. Because without the practice of these proprieties, then it's natural that we're not going to be able to return to heaven. So I'm really sorry that I was not able, because I'm just at number 10. So I hope I'll be able to...
Continue after.
After maybe next week. You can finish off next week.
People's mind will be
Okay.
focused on this.
Okay, so then you
Okay.
continue.
All right. So I'll stop at 10. Okay, I'm going to skip a lot of the thing because we need to have the discussion of the Dharma class. So if you look, I'll just skip down to the number that I'm going to stop. I'll just let you see some of the things that I put up. Okay, so I will start right on number 17. Okay, so to establish oneself and to help others to be established. The world's tallest trees have the wisdom root of Tao. Right? To cultivate today emphasizes more on teamwork than individual effort. So right there is a great indication to say why we need to come to the temple on Sundays, because most of us do not understand what we need to know in terms of cultivation. So coming to the temple, those who are more versed, like the transmitters and the lecturers, and so they can help us to learn more and understand the Tao. So it's very important that we keep coming to the temple on Sundays so we could learn. So to cultivate today, emphasize more on this teamwork. So keep coming to the temple so we could be part of a great team and be on the Dharma boat. So coming to classes on Sundays exemplifies this teamwork. So the more we learn is the more we are able to establish ourselves and help others to be established. So again, action we are doing. If we keep coming, and the people who we invite to come to the temple, they will be able to learn from the action that we are demonstrating. So to enlighten oneself and to help others to be enlightened. The more we know Tao, the more we know, right? We know the nature of love, the more we want to share what we know with others. So all enlightened beings are good instructors, and their ways of demonstrating love is to teach the true Tao. Teaching is sharing, sharing is caring, caring is love, and love is Tao. The best way to learn Tao is to give a Tao lecture. So I am actually trying to do that right now. So when we help enlighten others, we actually enlighten ourselves at the same time. The wisdom of introducing Tao to others, introducing Tao to us, Tao to others is a virtuous act. Virtues are our savings, our 401k of our journey back to our original home. So I thought this is important because we are speaking about cultivating and what makes us all these little things happen and what we could do to make these things stop occurring. So to help the world to have peace on earth, all right? The graphic one is about the San Francisco fire. It's a long time ago. Most of you don't know about it, but it's important to see that whole city. If you have ever been to San Francisco, you'll understand how it's so condensed now, but in those days it was even more condensed, and it was there, and these things can happen. I mean, we had the World Trade Center and all that stuff. So graphic number 2 is the Indian Ocean earthquake, tsunami. I'm sure most of you have heard about it, where all those buildings came down. And graphic number 3 is the MV Donna Paz. Was en route to Manila in the Philippines. It was officially carrying a maximum passenger manifest of 1,583 passengers and 58 crews, and only 26 people survived out of that. Okay? So, okay, so to transform people's heart to goodness. Okay, Tao is our true heart. Example, our conscience. That will guide us to do the right thing for others and ourselves. Everyone has to act according to everyone's true heart in order to save the world. It is easy to get so wrapped up in to fix our own lives, and we forget about helping others. And while it might be important at times to put ourselves first, sometimes it's even more important to help others whenever we can. Being generous isn't even always about altruism. Becoming more generous and compassionate will have real tangible benefits to our own lives. See, in the Bible, in Proverbs 19:17 states, "Whosoever is generous to the poor lends a hand to the Lord, and he will repay him by his deeds." Can everyone say, "I will do something nice for others today"? Can everyone say that?
I will do something nice for
I
others.
would, yeah.
Everybody seems to be lost.
Are
just
you
now.
asking us to repeat
No,
it,
yes,
or you
yes.
just did
No,
a
I'm saying,
question?
can everyone just say that you know, if you say you're going to do it, then
You're gonna
it's
do it.
easy to do. So then you will go out and do something good for
I will
someone
do
today.
something nice for someone
All right.
today.
Yes.
So, right. So now you try to be the reason for someone to smile today. Okay? So when we go out, when we leave here, try to do something nice for somebody and put a smile on someone's face.
Yeah.
Not because we want them to marry, because naturally just
Get into the habit of doing it.
yeah, and then the God Buddha automatically give us marriage. We don't even need to request.
No.
Yeah, so naturally that's the right thing to do.
Well, Claudia always does it anyway.
A big smile, right? Everybody, yeah.
Right. So love is our most unifying, empowering common denominator. The more we ignore its potential to be in greater balance and deeper meaning of human existence, the more likely we are to continue to define history as one long, inglorious record of man's inhumanity to man. So, 21. Right. So, to bring great harmony to the world, peace comes from harmony, and harmony brings happiness. Be like a child, act like a child, innocent, until we find complete joy and satisfaction within our Buddha nature.
The child means the original mind. When they were born, it's not the later on after years the child, because they already have emotion or desire, they learn those stuff already. So what child was original, it's very pure, innocent,
Right.
Buddha nature.
It is our understanding of the purpose of Tao is clearer. That was a question really. So I'm asking if now the topic is the purpose of Tao. So I am asking if everyone if it is clearer the purpose of Tao.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So after clearly understanding the purpose of Tao, we should be more persistent in cultivating ourselves and helping more and begin to help more people to propagate Tao. So in conclusion, it's Confucius' directive to let the states of equilibrium and harmony exist in perfection, happiness, a happy order, and will prevail throughout heaven and earth, and all things will be nourished and flourish. We have 5 minutes. I have 5 minutes before the class ends, so afterwards now we can ask any question concerning the topic, and I'll try my best. And we have transmitter Lynn, Kai, and lecturer Ty and lecturer Jean to help me to answer the questions. So if you have any questions, but before I do that, there is a nice little poem that I found here that I'd like to share with everybody. See, so it says, the lighted Tao Tao seems dim. The Tao which goes forward seems to retreat. The Tao that is smooth seems rough. The most solid truth seems unreal. The perfect square has no corners. The greatest music cannot be heard. The greatest form has no shape. The Tao is hidden and nameless. The Tao alone exists in beginning and ending. I thank you very much. First, if I have said anything that is not correct, I ask for forgiveness from heaven, and I hope that I was able to do this presentation properly. I tried my best, and I hope my best was good enough. So if anyone have any questions, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you.
Any questions about the topic? Yes,
Yes.
Not so
Roland.
much a question, but maybe a comment.
Yes.
Long ago, I read a book by Sidhu Krishnamurti, an Indian, and its title is "You Are the World," and he says something very powerful, that we are totally responsible for everything is happening in the world, all the violence, everything, the good and the bad. Either because what we do or what we fail to do. So we keep electing politicians to run and we keep re-electing them. We pay with our taxes a war machine that is raping the planet. Most people are happy to kill animals and eat them every day. And now that Thanksgiving is coming, instead of fasting a day, they're going to kill millions
A lot of
and
turkey.
millions.
They don't have to fast as long as they eat vegetarian Thanksgiving.
Exactly. And I would suggest to, I'm sorry, to reverse the meaning of Thanksgiving because not many, unfortunately, people do not know the real truth behind
Not
it.
give
The
thanks.
real meaning, really,
So me and my husband actually spoke about it. So for the first time, we're going to have completely vegetarian Thanksgiving, and we're going to reverse the meaning. We are going to pray for the souls that actually died and they were killed, to whom the land was taken unfairly. So that's the way. How are we going to actually make it happen?
That's good.
We actually will be having a vegetarian lunch to celebrate Thanksgiving here. So those that are able to come, by all means, all are welcome. What time, sir? 10?
10 to 12. Thanksgiving Day.
Thursday, Thanksgiving morning.
Coming Thursday.
Yeah, you can bring friends to receive the blessing.
Okay.
And that will be a real Thanksgiving. If you could bring someone in on that day, that will be a really good
Yeah, it's a
Thanksgiving.
special day, and that is really a Thanksgiving day.
10 to 12:30.
Same schedule. It's our normal schedule, 10 to 12:30.
See, if you're not traveling out to relatives and so forth, it's important that you spend that time in the temple.
So how do we atmosphere?
So how do we change that?
What?
Oh, you talk about that.
Why people keep repeating the same
Well,
and stupid things? Either they're stupid or they are asleep. I don't know.
Ignorant, of course.
Do you know Lorenzo, do you know we pray at lunchtime right now? We pray right now, right?
Yeah.
You know, when we kneel upright, we pray for world peace, world harmony, for all sentient beings to be safe.
Yeah.
We repeat it
yeah.
10 times each.
Okay. We repeat 10 times, right?
So it's special prayer.
You do that. You do that whether you're at work or at home too. Not only in the temple. Okay, every day
Once a
around
day.
noontime. Was it between 11 to 1? Okay, this is from the holy teacher. Between 11 to 1, if you're at work, it's not convenient to say it out loud. Say it in your heart and mind.
Can we do it in English? Because I mean,
You can do it in any language you wish. Okay.
I have a question. Is there a prayer before we go to sleep?
Is there a prayer before? You do the one you're function.
Okay. One thing very important, you gotta listen to Buddha in your class. And then the other thing you can practice, okay, put the tongue on the top. Then you can close your eyes, make 80%. Usually I do 100%.
Me too, and I always fall asleep right away.
Okay, fall asleep is a good thing. Before we fall asleep, the moment we fall to sleep, that's the full knowledge, our spirits coming out, and the moment coming out. When we are awake, they won't come out, okay? It's coming out at the moment. So once we practice that one, Buddha wants us to practice all every day. So our full knowledge will reveal all the time. That's why we have a pharmacist, Mr. Chen. That's why he practices 8 months only. 8 months only. What happened to him? I said in English class. He can read everybody's mind when he sits in a room. He can read everybody's mind. That's one of our superpower. We are not pursuing superpower. But once we practice, they have those kind of stuff.
I don't know what's in your mouth.
Yeah, but
It's not respectful to.
when he walks on the street, when he walks to the park, he can see all the Buddha and invisible they are talking to each other. He can hear it. So but this is nothing from Buddha point of view. We all have the capabilities, okay? But the reason we didn't reveal because we have all the desire, all the attachment, and cover that our Buddha nature. Once all those are gone,
We need to purify first.
then we start. Then all those capabilities are coming up. That's why Buddha has that capability. All the Buddhas have that. Why? Because they can know our past, they can know our now, they can know our future too. They all know, they can see it because it's all there. So that we need to cultivate. That's why I practice every night. Usually I do in the morning right now. Just do 1 hour.
Is it like some type of form of meditation that?
Yeah, but the only difference between this, the meditation and the get rid of all the affinities, not wait a single thought. The difference, what's the difference? Yeah, I think teacher asked Mr. Chen came to talk to all of us. Yeah, meditation is good. It's very healthy and good for our body. But once we die, the meditation function is gone from the body. It's gone. When we practice all this, get rid of all the activities, and do not waste a single thought, those function and capability will stay with our Buddha nature, our spirits, forever. Once we go to next life, it will go with us. So that's more important.
You have to purify and learn how to do the correct way.
Yeah, so you do this way. Close our eyes 80%. Do not think the right, wrong, bias, good, bad, and then nothing. Okay?
Just empty your mind.
Empty mind. But one thing has to stay inside. Our spirit has to stay inside. The soul, the spirits. Okay? That's why we sometimes open 80% means our Buddha nature, the spirit has to stay. Did not come out. Meditation, what happened? Meditation means empty everything. Meditation, the spirits could come out from our body. So that's good dangerous. The reason we don't want to do that. Once spirits come out from our body, the other spirit could go into our body.
And then one can get possessed.
Then we cannot go back. It didn't happen to one of our temple member in Taiwan.
I think I'm very familiar with this because from what I read and I was told, because I asked from different sources, and I was told the same thing from one of the swamis from Hindi temples. And apparently they call this Jnana Yoga, yogi of wisdom. I think is the highest level. Like you have to actually do it the right way. Like as you said, not to let you control yourself, leave it inside you, not to let it wander because something else can come and inhabit
to one of our temple member. You know what happened? His spirit came out. Then the other spirit went into his body. So his spirit couldn't go in. But you know what happened later on to him? He couldn't go back to heaven. He couldn't go to hell because once we receive the Tao, our name is removed from the hell, right? And he couldn't go back to heaven because his time is not up yet. So he was become wandering spirit. So he was. Then he came to our temple to tell us what happened in Taiwan.
Dean has a question.
We have a question here.
Okay.
Would it be accurate to say that we're not trying to fight our bad impulses? We're just trying to cultivate what's good inside us.
Yes.
That's so we're not actually battling anything or like always trying to stab off our bad impulses. We just try to bring out the good and have that override.
Bring out the good in us.
In the daily life, we try to stay positive and pure and good area, good energy, young energy, positive energy. But we talk about don't waste because of that meditation. Why we don't want to do meditation? Because the risk is there. But when we do that, you can do different things. Do not break the secret to meditation.
The immortal name that when he came back after his body left and took up his body. And so that's the one we believe. What's his name again?
Spirit stay inside.
Just let it go.
Okay, when you close our eyes, it
become
might come.
attached to it. Once you become
One day,
attached,
it
you
might
have
come.
more thoughts,
So one thing
knowing that.
every day, practice. I'm doing
So I mean that letting go is
even
very
sometimes they say, I was 2 minutes, you the lunchtime, 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Okay. Even we have 2 minutes during the lunchtime, or sometimes you say, you have a break, 2 minutes. Just do it 2 minutes. Okay? And then put the tongue on top. You can close eyes 70%, 80%, up to you. Then do not think anything. Get rid of all the thoughts. Very pure, very clean. You're going to find out we don't need to sleep very much anymore.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
That's I will tell you that. You're going to sleep, don't have to sleep very much anymore. That's why I'm surprised myself. I went to bed 11:30, I got up 4:30 this morning. So you will practice that. Get used to that. You're going to find out more energy in your body.
That's right. That's like accumulating the energy.
Yeah.
It's like refreshing yourself.
Okay, so
Claudia and then Rolando.
Oh, and thank you, Johnny. I want to thank you for your lecture, and I look forward to many more. 'Cause I always look forward to your wisdom.
You hear that? Many more.
Your actions are,
I'm trying because I'm learning from these guys all the time.
But your actions are speak wisdom. So
I thank you.
So
I
much for
thank.
guiding the class.
Yeah, that was very good. Thank you.
Right. Right. So you finished? Yeah. Just to let you know why it's important that instead of meditating, we practice the how you click the all the thing, because one of our the 8 immortals. If you ever see the picture, you see him walking around with a crutch, and the reason why is because his spirit, actually his Buddha nature, left his body and went traveling, and then he asks his disciples not to disturb him, but then they found, well, a day or so passed and he did not return. They did not see him. So when they went into his room and saw the body there, they took it up, but then I think they were trying to bury him, right? Right. Lite Guai, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So right now you see, if you down the road, you're going to see the channeling.
Yeah.
Buddha going to talk to us directly. Okay?
Yeah.
And he had the leg. He's put
A cane.
cane there.
Yeah.
His leg is
Twisted around the cane.
cane. You know what happened to him? He cultivated so well. His soul, spirit can come up from his body. So the spirit come up from his body. He told his disciple, take care of my body, because his spirit is going to come up from his body. Took care of his body for 7 days.
7
okay?
days, right.
So he left. He went to the Kaisan,
Yeah.
okay?
What's Taisan now?
Yeah. So
I think the place where they
Lao
were.
Tzu. To visit Lao Tzu.
Well, I mean, Lao Tzu is already
Yeah.
Okay.
he learned all this stuff. He could read all these Buddhas talk about the Tao. He said he's going to come back 7 days later.
No,
Lao
it's a
Tzu is
different
one.
Yeah. But 6 days later, what happened? His
First
disciple,
person that ever
the disciple's son,
Buddha.
the disciple's mother is dying.
Who?
No.
it wasn't Lao Tzu.
Yeah.太上老君.
Oh,
disciple's son is dying. And you know what happened? So the neighbor came to talk to his
So
son.
why do you have a second
Your mother's
name?
dying, you better go back.
Well, Lao Tzu is
And he said, no, I waiting for my teacher to come back because I'm
Lao
watching
Tzu
his
means
body.
life?
He said,
No.
no.
You don't know, Lao Tzu is
Yeah,
founder
the person is
of
dying. You
Taoism,
have to come back.
Taoist
Okay?
philosophy, right? Lao
So
Tzu.
his
He
disciple burned the body
wrote
of
Tao
his
Te
teacher.
Ching. Have you ever heard of Tao
Okay,
Te Ching?
then
and-
when he has to
He's
see
the
his
person
mother,
that wrote
because
Tao
mother so
I
ill,
Ching?
so
I
sick.
Ching?
No, not
Not the Ching.
Yeah.
Dao Te Ching.
Tao Te Ching. No.
Now, his mother is so sick and dying, right? By the time his disciple went home, his mother already died. So now he cried because he didn't see his mother. In the meantime, he violated his teacher's because our teacher don't have a body. So now immorally came down, right? In other words, used to be a very handsome boy, okay, young man. Right now it's different. It's a cane, okay. But then he came down, right? He saw bird body is already burned, but his spirit came back. He had no place to go, right? There's one beggar who is dying. The beggar was dying. So this immorally, the spirit of immorality came to the beggar's body. The beggar is dying.
I thought he already died.
He died.
It was a
I
dead
think he
body.
died. He died. Yeah.
No, you got to be in the transition moment.
Okay, so he didn't die
That
yet.
dead body
Okay.
cannot go in, right?
Oh,
okay.
Dead body cannot go. So the moment he got into his body, right? So now immorally is the beggar. But he used to be a handsome man. It's different. But now but he also said, let help him to cultivate, to focus and concentrate. Because now he didn't have to worry about physical forms anymore. He can concentrate. So every time he come in, he can see him. Oh man. One time he was in California, he asked me, take a rock. He asked Mark, take one rock. Okay, I take one post. And I put my leg. Okay, he asked me to do the same thing, follow him. Did the same thing as I said, follow him. He walked around, I could follow him. By the time I came down from the class, my leg couldn't move. Okay? Because Buddha is different.
Different, yeah.
Okay? Human being, you're gonna have a hard time to hold that position for a few hours. So you're gonna struggle. That's why when you see the channel media, the girl, right? The sense Buddha use their body, the channel, sometimes like longevity sense, right? He's bending the back 90 degrees. So he walked like this, right? And after the spirits of the Buddha came out, those channel media girls crying, screaming, because it's so painful to go back. So sometimes we don't see it.
Because sometimes they channel in for several hours.
Yeah.
So the
In one
talent,
position.
the girl's body that they're using, they have to be in that position for hours.
So they have pain.
Okay, so they're using her physical body to talk to us. Do you understand? Yeah. So they are in pain.
Then you can send the Buddha channel through them. It's better situation. Might take a few days to recover. Then those go. But if the spirits come from the underworld, channel through them, it happened in a temple because they bring the spirits coming from tsunami, Asian tsunami, channel through the girl's body, talk to all of us. And then the transmitter told me she used to be a channel medium. It took her a month to recover. 1 month to recover for her energy. Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Can we cut your?
Yes,
Are you finished
I'm
now?
done, yeah.
Because I like to leave the less than 20 minutes for the Dharma class discussion. Okay, what is your feedback from the Dharma class?
I have questions.
Do you have any questions or do you have any comments about the classes?
I
Yes, we have to hear Katina's miracle first.
But we should say give them time because we don't have time.
It's really a blessing that finally we initiated the whole family. Like now we finally get to come, all of us, me and my husband and my son. And I think Buddhas are really happy about it because on the way home, as we go so happy and joyful, and it was this feeling, right? And we go home and Tina, remember, we just spontaneously chose a different way. We went this, because there are many different ways to go home. And we always choose one way, but that day we were just like walking and talking and so happy, and we took another way. I never walked that way, but it was so dark and nothing. It was kind of, people getting ready to go to bed. Nothing was empty, and as we walk in the street, 3 of us, right on the right-hand side, somebody, I don't know, they did put it by, maybe tried to get rid of it, or I don't know what it was, but a big statue, like this big, of a happy Buddha.
Oh,
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow.
wow!
Yeah.
Oh. You took it home?
Yes, we did.
Oh my goodness!
He was smiling. I felt it. We all felt it. Yes.
Maybe you left it there from your previous life and you went to
But honestly, we all felt like he was calling us because we were just walking and it was dark. Why would we just turn around for no reason? But something just told us just to turn our backs, our heads. And we were like, 3 of us, even my son. He's like, baby, that's Buddha talking to us. He felt that was Buddha actually, in some shape or form, he appeared to tell us, good job, guys.
Take me home.
Take it home.
Take me, because he received the Dharma initiation that he as well. It was like the Buddha welcoming us, telling us, finally, you're on your path home, real home, right? And it felt like that. It felt like, and he was smiling. And he was like, you're doing a great job. Another miracle that happened, and of course we took it home because we felt like, we have to now. And another miracle that happened 2 days after, do you remember? Somebody was talking to my husband, trying to convince him to change the job because Sundays he's working, couldn't come, and we were like, how are we gonna do this now? How is this gonna happen? How are we gonna just quit the job and just find it? Because it's very hard to find a job nowadays. He wakes up one morning and goes out and comes back. Like, why? I said, I'm not going. Why? Something is telling me not to go because this is not good. I don't want to go. I don't want to go. I was like, oh my God, you cannot do this. You cannot do your job. Like, no, let me just try something. He says, let me just call the agency. He calls the agency. To the miracle agency calls him 10 minutes after. Calls him right back and tells them they have available job for him. How many blocks away? 5 blocks away from home, where he doesn't have to mandatorily go Sundays to work.
All right.
Big one for you. It's just a beginning.
Yeah.
Just a beginning. My daughter walked 21 days straight. She didn't want to work weekend, right? Because she couldn't come to temple. What happened? She found a job. Okay? And she worked for the company for 7 months. Previous company can't call back, ask her to go back for different position. Now she's going back next week again. Just the beginning. Just the beginning. If we have a vow, we want to do it, you'll be you'll be shocked every day. You say, wow.
Yes, and another third miracle that happened.
Oh my goodness! How come you're so lucky?
I think because like I believe it was necessary for a whole family to be part of Dao, not just me or just by the fact that we all came here. I think now things are happening. We are in harmony. I think that's the point when you harmonize as a unit, as a total. So another thing, I got the call from one of the places that I applied for apartments. So now I'm eligible for a 2-bedroom apartment. You know one of those lotteries that you play if you can win an apartment? It's
All
cool,
come together.
right? But they call you, be like, you know what? And it happened within like what, 1 or 2 months? Usually you have to wait sometimes years.
You see how heaven works in mysterious ways.
But teacher told my daughter, when we get all those stuff, don't forget 资源 means remember how it come in, how it comes. So Buddha all helping us, but don't forget we have to pay back to the living being. We have to help living being in this case. Buddha is helping us, but we have to also help living being.
Okay.
Anyone else?
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
just in the Dharma class, the first day that I came today, there were a couple of lecturers. First, I don't remember who was first, second, and then I think
Third one.
you were
The second one was Kenny Do.
Kenny, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
2 minutes of life, right?
Yes. And then when lecturer Lin, sorry.
Transmitter link.
Transmitter Lin.
Preciousness of Dao.
Preciousness of Dao. Then it was the same lighting, everything the same, same thing. But I saw, it seemed like the rest, but I know for sure, like he was talking, and his right hand, it just became golden, like a golden on the Buddha, like a golden
Whose
light.
hand? Transmitter link had a gold hand.
And on the other hand, like I saw him golden, like, but I know for sure the right hand was like the golden light, like Buddha.
Wow.
Like I saw that. I've seen that once before, this situation, but not like this. But anyway, so the hand was golden like the Buddha. I kept looking to see if it was the light. I checked every lecture after that, and it didn't happen. It was only like with the one.
And the teacher always said, holy teacher, Buddha said it. Teacher said, when anybody talk, even Johnny talk today, that's the same Buddha talk. It's not just the person talk. So human being, when we receive the Dao, right? We see the primary announcer, secondary announcer, and then we see the transmitter who has received Dao. We saw the human being, right? Whoever had yin yang eyes,
They can see
They can
it's
see,
Buddha.
they saw the Buddha, the one
In
law
each one
enforcer
of
on the
them.
right hand side, lead law enforcer in the left hand side. Qigong Buddha is on the transmitter's body to open the gate. So there's one professor, he didn't believe that. He said no way, but he has in that eye. He could see the ghosts and spirits. So he saw this temple, he went downstairs, but they have received the Dao upstairs. And he saw all the Buddha coming down for people to receive Dao. And he saw the Buddha can walk down from the stair to the downstairs, and he was so scared. He kneeled down to hold it down there. By the time he raised his head, he said, transmitter. He said, why you are here? Transmitter said, I just walked down from upstairs to downstairs. So in that moment, because Buddha could get on the person's body and talk, you don't see that. But if whoever in your eyes, they might see that. That's the difference. But this just Buddha said, Qigong Buddha said one thing. Usually for our own members, you know what? We always want to see the channel media. So send Buddha can channel students talk to all of us, right? You know what Qigong Buddha said? When channel media is not here, okay, they cannot channel through direct to us. But he said a lot of miracles and will happen to some members. The Qigong Buddha already told us ahead of time. He told us.
So what you saw was the Buddha hand.
Yeah, like I saw the gold everywhere, but when I saw the hand, I just focused on the hand, the right hand.
Do you have yin
It
yang
almost
eyes?
looked like
Do
a
you
paw.
have
It
yin
wasn't
yang
even like a human hand anymore.
Oh, was it a paw?
Like it was almost like like a Buddha hand, like the whole, like it wasn't fingers that were golden. It was like more.
Maybe the reflection sort of distort the frame of the hand.
Yeah,
so,
it was like thicker.
Well, it's true. I mean, when, as a lecturer or anyone who's giving a, lecture or something, that's, that position is very, it's very high. It's very, it's called a Dharma King seat, seat of the Dharma King.
They are the representative of Saint Buddha.
Well, Dharma King is also a title for Buddha. So it's the seat of the Buddha. So whoever goes up there, better be very careful what you say. First of all, that we don't feel we're not qualified because we're not enlightened yet, right? We're not Buddhas yet. So that's why you'll now understand why everybody that goes to speak, in the beginning they should always say this phrase, right? Right? We are grateful to the heaven's grace and the virtues of our masters, and to our predecessors, transmitters, lecturers, temple masters, and everybody, to give you the opportunity to stand at this podium to talk about, to give you this discourse on this particular topic. The reason you say that is because to let everybody know, a couple things. One, you are giving, expressing your gratitude for this, for giving you the chance to speak. Number two, just let everybody know that, you're not yet a Buddha yet, so that you're learning to talk about this thing. So it's very special, all right? Because, actually, only, if you want to be technical, during the time of Buddha, during the time of Siddhartha, Sakyamuni Buddha, only, only those who are enlightened are eligible to sit. In those days they sit. They sit on a platform. It's a seat. Okay, it's a position. It's an honorable seat. Okay, to give a lecture. Only. Okay, I had to repeat again. Only those who are enlightened are eligible to give a lecture. All right. Understand? Okay. So how many are playing here, present, can raise their hands? Oh, I'm enlightened. Come on, let me see your hands. So that's very, very important. See, that's why we say.
He got his hand up.
That's why we always say. I make the mistake of not saying it all the time. That's my guilt, my sin. You can say whatever. Okay. So I have to make it up. But just remember that. Okay. Just remember. So whoever goes up there, speak, better be very, very, very careful. And here's why. Why? In those old days, what is the Buddha talking about? He's not talking about everyday life. He's not talking about, you know what? You have a problem, I have a problem, we all have problems, here's a solution, blah, blah, blah. No, he's not talking about that. What's he talking about? Come on, after all this, he's talking about one very simple thing. One word, truth.
Oneness.
He's Dharma. You can say Dharma. Yeah, you can talk about Dharma. Period. Just Dharma. Nothing else. And what does Dharma represent? Truth. We can say truth. So who's eligible to speak about the truth?
Yeah.
Ask yourself that. Ask ourselves that.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a good thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Supreme truth. Supreme truth. Ultimate truth. Yeah, you can say that. Yeah. You can say that. But okay. Dharma. Whatever. Okay, doesn't matter. So just understand that. So that's why I feel very bad. And when I try to go up, I say, I'm dumb. I'm not enlightened. So
We feel
what I'm talking about,
I know.
is what? Here's another way of looking at it. Just another perspective. If it's the truth, if it's the truth, it's Busan Bunye. Right? It means it's what?
Eternal.
It does not belong to. You can say it's absolute. It's eternal. Yeah, it's eternal. That's why all the sutras. I don't care. It's 2,500 years now, right? Ago, right? Another 2,500, and then for eternity, really, it will still be meaningful. This is the truth. Period. It permeates space and time.
Let's come back to the truth here. What is truth? That's a Tao.
Yeah.
What is truth in our body?
Buddha
Buddha
nature.
nature. So all those stuff, when you read all the books, any book, doesn't matter. Buddha nature.
Yeah, talk
Our,
about that.
okay, original spirit. It's all in books. And
Yeah.
thousands books that cover Buddha nature. Yeah.
Well,
It's key.
compare that to, let's say, the books that we learn at school or university. Those are all knowledge. I mean, yes, it does represent one, maybe you can say, one aspect or one particular small part of, you can say, the total truth. That's hey, I'm learning physics, man. Hey, I'm learning about elementary particles, you know, the super gut theory, all that stuff, you know, or relativity, whatever. That's not the absolute truth. That's only a partial truth. You can say that. Or you can say a truth or a principle about physics, or principle about biology, principle about nature, principle about et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Okay? So those are all what? Not absolute, therefore not eternal. Not eternal. So that's why we have to go to school, right?
Yeah,
That's why we have so many PhDs.
Don't you
Why?
find it so unfair that we have to dedicate so much?
Yeah, I agree. That's true. Why? Because
They're not absolute.
Yeah,
Therefore,
you
they're
can
not
say it's
What?
like the
Maybe
relative truth.
what? 300 years ago,
Can every-
Newton's
Did
law of
everybody
physics
understand what he just said?
was the
That's
truth.
very-
I mean, what's the principle, quote unquote. Everybody followed that. Then we figure out, hey, wait a minute, doesn't make sense. Speed of light doesn't, blah, 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 whatever. Then we learn new principle, Newton. So we have new theories. That's the nature of the universe. That's the nature of the universe. So you have to distinguish. You have to distinguish. Right? Okay. Be Very
Okay.
careful. That's a very
Buddha just try to give
important
us the confidence. That's the main name. But we cannot fall into the form. Especially it's a lecture. So in the middle of lecture, you got to be very humble. That's Buddha's try to give us confidence only. So we cannot be arrogant. We gotta be very humble in scale.
Yeah.
And
Okay, anybody else has a question or
Any
comment?
feedback?
I have a question, maybe not related to this topic exactly.
okay.
That is kind of, because it's all, why we have to cultivate and so forth.
Right.
But, we're all under pressure to be productive.
Yeah.
So the question I have is, how does cultivation work into your daily life to be productive, to be very
That's
productive?
very beautiful question. How do you do that? How do you apply it to our daily
Those
life?
principles
Right?
in your everyday life.
Well,
That's probably
The
one.
most important thing is what we gotta come to class to learn. When we learn the principles, we will manifest it in our daily life. Okay, Kai?
Yeah. I mean that's the most practical, you can say. Yeah. Question. Yeah. Because we learn all this thing. Actually, the whole point is we have to. The whole point of our Dao study or cultivation is to apply our Buddha nature in everything we do. Do not rely. Maybe rely is a better term in this case. Rely on just knowledge. Yeah, you can say, oh, that's BS because in actual reality that's impossible. That's not true. That's not really true. Because it depends on the perspective. Yes, on the initial thought or condition, you can say state, initial, zero state, whatever. Okay, we have to apply knowledge. Yeah, we do. We have to use words, right? That's knowledge.
Use very simple example. A teacher said, in the future, anything we face, whatever difficult challenge we have, think about if you were the Buddha,
Yeah.
or if Buddha here today, what does he do or what does she do? Then we will do the same way.
Yeah. But
Okay,
that also
that's simple.
assumes you have to know that we have a Buddha nature. See, or we have to understand our Buddha nature.